And this time we do have audio on everyone else, so that will not be a repeat of the vampire game where we spent 20 minutes without player audio. So, welcome everybody to another episode of D&D Aetherseed Cycle of Stars, our D&D live play game set in my own homebrew world of industrialized might and magic, modern era, and you can buy canters from the pharmacy. The intro is something like that. I always fuck it up. Before we jump into tonight's long falls, we could quickly go around and people can tell you who they are and who they are playing. So, Nate, take it away.
I'm Nate, and I am playing Errol Ramanash, the Cragling fighter, for the beginning of this episode.
The beginning of this episode. That's a good way of putting it. Jade.
Hi, I'm Jade. I am playing Will Soul, Fire Genasi, cleric. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting episode.
Kat.
Hi, I am Kat. I am playing RaQui MriTtyur. I do not want to be doing an autopsy today.
We shall see how that goes. And last but not least, Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. I'm playing Olo Proudburrow, who's about to try and catch a Kraglin.
Here.
Good luck.
Yeah. So.
That's like a type of fish.
So, last time things happened. There aren't enough channel points for a parachute. So, last time things happened. RaQui, Will, and Errol went to the storage locker that RaQui's family owned and obtained a series of items, including one that RaQui felt drawn to. And I have explained this to the players, the container has given up about 20% of its content. There is more to find in there. Is it relevant to RaQui's investigations? Maybe not. But there are things to find in there, some of them very difficult to acquire. It's a lot of trash and a lot of heirlooms in there. Will received news from Clara, or on behalf of Clara, regarding her current status and the information on where Will's mother is. She is being brought to Cardis for some reason, and there is information on the where and when. It's a facility that belongs to her quote-unquote maternal grandfather. It's just a matter of going there with a group, on her own. Who knows? It's Will. She'll jump out a window and crash land there in a superhero three-point landing. Olo went to meet Tea Leaves and went ahead of the group, who were supposed to be there to offer a bit of backup. And in trying to look at the different avenues from where he may be attacked, he was indeed attacked. Nearly killed, but Tea Leaves came in for the save and had a bit of a heart-to-heart with his old student, his former student, leaving things amicable as much as possible before departing, but not without sharing a bit of a gem with Olo. The fact that if he was interested in meeting his parents, he had to be aware that he wasn't the first Olo that had tried to come home. Errol had a few encounters with Roderick, who seemed to be very upset about something, and told them that he would be taking some time off, heading over to this tower, the gigantic 3-kilometer tall tower that is the central landmark of Cardis, and which has literally 3 feet, one in each of the 3 major central districts of Cardis. It is huge. He was up there just clearing his mind, the usual thing. After everything else went and was done, Errol went to the tower and found out the lift was broken. So he had only the choice of either, I don't know, leave or call Roderick or go up the stairs. And go up the stairs he did. Arriving at the top with some levels of exhaustion. After a discussion with Roderick in which discovered that very much is a situation that he seemingly cannot escape, and it's something that he must do, a piece of work that he feels reticent about doing. Roderick decided that, if he had to do it, he would just do it. Embraced Errol and then stabbed him in the back and threw him off the tower, revealing him to be one of the quiet there for Errol's life. That's where we begin tonight. Though first, a bit of housekeeping. And Jade, could you share with our audience what is the decision regarding Clara between staying and be potentially, in judgment, but keeping possibly her military career, or dishonorably to discharge, get the hell out of here?
In the words of Mushu, dishonor on our house.
Dishonor on our house. That has been marked then. There will be consequences. It'll be interesting. Now, Errol, the last thing you felt was a sharp pain in your back. You heard Roderick's words. And the next thing is you felt his hands lifting you over the edge of the tower, and you are in free fall. You have 3 levels of exhaustion, meaning you have disadvantage on abilities checks and attacks and saving throws. You are blinded and you are paralyzed. You will be falling at a rate of 500 feet per round. This is a 3-kilometer high tower, which is about, we're going to round it to 9,500 feet in the air. So you have about 19 turns to figure something out. And, perhaps come out of any of the conditions that you are in. The upside that I'm giving you is that at the end of those 500 feet that you fall, you will be at terminal velocity. You will not go over 50 d6 damage, no matter how much you fall. Second, Featherfall. Featherfall has a range of 60 feet. And you decelerate to fall 60 feet in a round. It says that if you are under the effects of Featherfall while you're falling and you land on the turn, while on Featherfall, you take no damage. With the degree of the speed you're falling at, I am making this call that if you are hit within 60 feet of the ground while with Featherfall, you will take damage. The equivalent of long fall into a shallow pool. Some of the velocity will be dampened, but not enough. You'll break your legs or something. To be precise on the ruling here, you need to be hit with Featherfall at a height of at least 100 feet. So there's a full round of you decelerating and then just gently drifting onto the ground. 19 turns might seem a lot. In real time, it's less than 2 minutes. Which means that though it may cross your mind, I'm going to call the authorities, firefighters, superheroes, the Avengers, something, they will not arrive in time.
An option?
No. They will not arrive in time, nor will any seekers, not unless you're extremely fortunate. Right now, the only two people three people in this scenario are Errol, Olo, and Roderick, wherever he is. Olo, you are at ground level. We're going to begin our first turn. And we're going to go through these fairly quickly. There isn't that much to be done. So, round 1. Errol, let me just quickly go. Your action, Olo's action, and we'll go from there. Errol.
Yep, I'm just finding my sheet. Got it. Right. Yes.
Okay. You're paralyzed. You can't do anything. You're blinded. You can't see anything. But you can hear the rush of wind as you're beginning, and you don't feel ground under your feet. So you are very aware of what's happened. Whatever may be the case of what's going through Errol's mind, other than, I'm falling, which would be the natural reaction. The only thing I think you can do in this turn is make your saves to try to come out of the conditions.
Yeah. At disadvantage.
You have disadvantage on both rolls.
All right. What kind of save am I rolling? Fortitude.
Constitution.
Constitution. Is it a... Right, hang on. I need to know the exact wording of this. No, it's versus being poisoned. So
No.
I already got poisoned. Or whatever it was. Here. First roll is a 10 and a 17. So 10 plus 12.
12.
So
That is not enough for... Which one is this? Blindness or paralysis? And we'll use the same order going forward.
we'll just do blindness and paralysis second roll.
Do paralysis now. Natural 1, I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well,
But
not perfect for
well.
you, but perfect in under our understanding of the situation.
Can I I don't know.
You have
Can I
all
bonus
your other
action?
actions available to you. If we're just taking care of that thing first, because we know, is there anything you want to do during your turn?
He knows he's falling, and he
Yes.
knows he's hurt because he got stabbed.
Uh-huh.
So second wind,
Okay.
bonus action.
Is there anything you want to say, shout, scream?
I can. I'm paralyzed.
Paralyzation just means that you cannot move and you cannot act, but your mouth is open. That doesn't stop your vocal cords from working.
I thought I couldn't do anything if I was paralyzed, because I thought you couldn't breathe.
Oh, you can breathe if you're paralyzed. It's just you can't move.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, I like that, actually. Let's go with that. You cannot talk yet. I like that very much. Thank you for talking. So
I just thought, I assumed if you were
no,
paralyzed,
you are.
like,
It does
nothing
make
moved.
sense. Everything is shocked. So
Alright,
go
well,
with-
next
you are-
time
you
I'm
are
not
correct.
saying shit.
yeah.
Next time I'll just ask. But I am going to bonus action second wind to try to heal up a bit.
Okay, perfect.
It's not much, but it's something. 14 hit points back.
Awesome.
Nice. That's something.
That extends the amount of damage you can take before
Yep.
expiring.
Not by much, but a little bit.
Okay. That is now please roll
That's my
for
turn.
paralysis.
Again.
You roll for blindness. Or did you also roll
No,
for
I rolled a
paralysis?
natural one for
Oh yeah, right.
paralysis.
The natural one. You're right.
Ah.
Olo,
I'm still paralyzed.
Olo, you are on the ground level. You are not aware of anything happening. What are you doing at this moment?
I'm just looking around, waiting for him to come down.
Okay. As he
I'm coming.
continues to fall and gets closer to ground level, at one point he will. What is your passive perception?
10.
And at one point he will tick your passive perception, or something else might happen. But you are waiting at ground level. Okay. Next round. Anything you want to do on your turn?
I think I have to save first. So
Okay. Make it the safest at the end
I
of the
don't think
round,
I've
technically
got-
speaking. But I think you do need to save to be able to do
I mean, let me
anything.
double check that there's nothing else I can do, but I really don't think there is.
If
'Cause
you
all my stuff is like
if you will please roll.
to hit something. Let's roll.
Blindness first.
Oh, fuck off with your natural 20. 14 is not enough either.
No, it's not.
Paralysis. You're lucky. You too. Oh, was it con save, right?
Yes. All right. What?
17.
17 does get you out of the paralysis.
It was like, oh, I think the DC is 18.
And I will allow you to do a minor free thing, as this is the end of the round, technically speaking.
Minor free. I can't see. I know Olo's on the floor somewhere, so shout for Olo.
So you're essentially screaming.
Yep.
I don't think this will be a controlled. Hey, buddy, this is more.
No.
Ah! Okay, Olo, it is your turn, and I will allow you a
Scream.
perception check because you are fairly high up in the air. So sound will get dispersed a bit 3 kilometers down. So at this one, you have fallen 1,000 feet.
11.
11.
Thanks,
I
Olo.
don't think it's enough just yet. The difficulty I'll put it at this height, again, it'll change as the height goes. At this height, I'll put it at 13. Every 1,000 feet that you fall, it's going to lower by 1. Eventually, that passive perception will be enough. Next turn, you are still blinded. But you have your actions. What do you want to do?
You have actions now. I can't see though. That's part of the problem.
You just want to roll until you get out of your condition.
No, I'm just seeing what I have in my loadout because I have things.
Unfortunately, you don't have anything for stopping the sudden stop, because none of you ever took those modules.
Well, I've got I so dumb. I didn't take the fancy jelly cushion, but I did take a grapnel boost. So I just sort of need to be able to see.
Yeah.
To use it.
You have. I will warn you one thing. You have
So
already
good.
hit terminal velocity. You grab
yeah.
onto anything, you will potentially just wreck something. You will take a lot of damage, just straight up.
Take a lot of damage. Do I have done my second wind? Can't do that again.
Action search to scream again.
It's an interesting one. I'm gonna save that for when I'm closer to the ground. It's no good to me. I think I just have to try to.
Get out
I
of
just
the.
need to try to get Olo's attention again. I'm gonna start kind of trying to
You have
figure
your
out
Weaver
which
at
way
your
up I
disposal.
am?
You still have your Weaver.
Okay, yeah, that's fumble my Weaver out. I don't want to lose
All right,
it though. If I lose it, I can't
you're
use any
still
of my
blinded.
stuff.
And that would be you're gonna be fumbling to do anything with Weaver. So maybe not. Maybe that's something when you're not blinded.
I'm gonna shout again. I'm just trying to get attention.
Okay.
And can I try to figure out which way I'm orientated so I can try to get?
I think you will need to be able to see to know that. Because right now
Okay,
everything
I
you
mean,
feel
that's
is
fair.
air.
That's true.
You didn't exactly just
I am.
drop. You were kind of thrown over, so you're tumbling.
Other than shouting to try to get Olo's attention, I would like to panic pray.
You pray. That's a free action. You're perfectly free to take it.
Feel
Which
like it's a
means now you need
sensible
to roll
action.
for that blindness. And this is your third round. So you're falling.
3 of 19.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to do it. Right, 15.
That is enough to get you out of the blindness.
Oh, it's not got the same DC. Okay.
In fact, all
Well,
the
I could see,
DCs were 15. But last
See,
time you
and it's
rolled
awful.
so horribly badly that you only succeeded on preventing 2 out of the major effects.
I could see.
You are
Nothing
now
is
able
good.
to see, but you are falling, and you have shouted. So, Olo, your next turn, if you want to make another perception check for me.
Uh, 18.
18. You hear something, and it sounds distinctly like Olo, help! I'm falling. You look up, and Errol is in free fall down this tower.
Okay.
I will tell you straight away with a perception check, you know exactly where he is and how many turns, how much time he has before the sudden stop.
Okay. Am I aware that if I cast Featherfall on him,
Because
where
I've
I am-
made the rules of this, it will say yes.
okay, so I know I need
You're
to
aware
get
that he's falling so fast that the almost like slow down, dampening effect of Featherfall will not be sufficient if you cast it like at the last second.
Okay. Is there a position I can see where I'll be able to get up about 60 foot higher and be able to cast
Make
on
a
it?
perception check. I don't even know. You'll pass the perception enough for this. You are on the street and you are surrounded by people coming. There are a bunch of cars around you. And cars in this place fly.
Okay.
And we always say you have a certain set of skills that could come in handy in this situation.
Okay.
There are places you can clamber on, but it's gonna be a thing about. I mean, there's lampposts and such that will get you, 10, 20 feet higher. No, actually, no, like 10 feet higher. But other than that, it would either be going into the tower or try to climb the side of the tower or something, or some building to try to get within range. But then that's the difficulty of, are you going to be in range? There are options available. One of them being, cars. That is an option.
Okay. Can I see anyone in a car at this precise moment?
Yes, there are a couple of people just parking, and there's other cars that are just already parked.
Okay. I'm going to run up to the nearest person
Okay.
and ask them if they can fly straight up towards.
I'm guessing you point out the person falling.
Yeah.
Make a perception check with advantage.
29.
29. You have just grabbed Joe Schmuck of the of the road, and for a moment they panic, but then okay, and they just get on the car. I'm guessing you're going with them.
Yeah.
Okay. This car moves at 100 feet per round. That's his normal movement. Of course, with a dash. In this case, it'll be a dash from the pilot. So you won't be able to use cunning action for this. But you'll be able to move 200 up, every round. It's up to you. Do you wish to, try to get to Errol? Or just hold on at a certain range to just target?
I'm thinking it'll probably be easier to target him if I'm not moving. So I will climb up to 200 foot and then hold there.
Okay. Perfect. Make a roll for me with a DC 10. It's just a roll with a +3. This is the driver's piloting check.
9.
9. A bit of nervousness. He will not be moving extremely quickly this turn. So we only move the first 100 feet. He didn't fully gun the motor. And let's just say he's a bit off course in terms of distance. From the presumed trajectory of Errol. That's 4 rounds in, 2,000 feet fall. Errol, it is your turn. You see there's movement below you, but you are so far up, you can't exactly distinguish what it is. You can make a spot. You can make a perception check if you want to get more accurate information.
Yeah, will that take my action, or is that just like? But roll 7. I think my perception is like.
No, I think so much rushing wind, you are tumbling. You are now aware of that. You are tumbling.
Eyes are streaming.
Yeah, eyes are streaming. Not just from the fall. You are falling to your death. I'm guessing you are actually crying.
Yeah, he's not.
What
above crying?
What will you do?
2 things. First thing, I'm going to bot self with what's it called? The healing module.
Fade.
It's not a lot. It's like whatever the initial one is. It's 1d4, right?
Yep.
Find my thing here. Yeah, just 1d4. Okay. Got that. It's a 3. Trying to give myself as many hit points back as I can. Does Errol know how long until he hits the floor?
Make an insight check.
That's a good roll. Thanks. 23.
The end of this will be your 5th round. So you will have fallen 2,500 feet. You're falling that every 6 seconds you're falling 500. You're doing, if a train leaves the station and doing all the math. Basically, a minute is 10 rounds. You will descend 5,000 feet in a minute. You are about now 9,500, 7,000. You're still a minute 20 away.
Okay. And how many so I'm a minute 20 away, so how many rounds is that?
That is, you have gone 5, so 14 rounds.
Because so it's easier to just tell you what I'm planning.
You have a rune
what
that you can
Errol
activate and
wants to
get.
do.
You have a yes, I know. You have
Yeah,
a rune
so
that you can
I
activate and get gain resistance for a minute.
Yeah. So I want to try to activate it close enough.
Considering you need to activate it. You activate it. I think it's a reaction.
It is a reaction, yeah.
I think you should perhaps save it for worst case scenario.
Is it a reaction? Am I reading it wrong? Blah, 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 blah. It's a bonus action.
Bonus actions, meaning you can do it on. I would suggest leave it on for the final round, for the last 500 feet. That's a worst case scenario. Because you're going to be able to activate it before you hit.
Okay, yeah, then I do that. But he's determined how far down he is, so he
Yes.
knows when to do it. Okay.
Yes. I mean, and I think you'll fairly know when the ground's getting dangerously close. You'll be able to do it. That part is reasonable.
I don't know what else he can do. We don't have our telepathy anymore.
No, that's gone a long time ago. And I don't think you would be very coherent in that telepathy.
Nope. It would just be
Pretty much.
I'm not fumbling my weaver out because I don't trust that at terminal velocity you could even hang on to it.
Or that you'd have the presence of mind to actually have a firm hand.
Do anything with it. Yeah, no, I don't think it's sensible. So
There's one challenge you have before you, and it's very dependent on you succeeding on a perception check. And it's being able to see where that car is so you can angle yourself, kind of aim your way and glide, free fall close enough. But then again, even knowing that the car is there waiting for you, that's another challenge.
I genuinely don't know what else you can do when you're just falling at terminal velocity. I think he's
you are in a rough situation, so I
think he's just praying. Genuinely, he's just trying to make his peace. Because if he hits the floor, this is his third death, and he's like, what are the chances I get a third chance?
Technically, it's your second death.
This would be my third.
Let's see if third time's the charm.
Died once back in the video game inside the game.
Right, and you were brought back with defibrillator. Yeah.
Yeah. Third death.
Okay, so it is Olo's turn. Once again, make that drive check for me with a +3.
Ooh, 13.
He gets the car to where you want it to be. Is there anything you want to do, with the car, with what you have available to anything, communicate with Errol or anything you want to do?
I'm going to climb onto the roof of the car.
Okay. Make an athletics check for me.
22.
Perfect. You clamber on there. You just, grab on like the thing where you hang clothes and just use that to swing over. Errol. Okay. Anything else you want to do? Shoot Errol as it's coming down.
Pull my gun out. Put him out his misery just in case.
Exact.
No, there's nothing I can do at the moment. I'll get me Weaver. Message. Can I send a voice message to him?
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna have you make an insight check for me.
19.
I think you're gonna do it, and you realize I don't really think at this situation at this speed he's gonna pull the phone. Hey man, how's it going? Let's FaceTime. No, it's not happening. The likelihood is gonna, if he pulls the phone, it's gonna go out of his hand.
So I don't
I
bother
mean,
doing
in
that.
fairness, that's all I want to do as well is get the phone in contact. But I'm like, I don't think I can.
And I won't bother messaging the other two because
I mean, I will say, Errol, if you want to do it, it'll be an athletics check just to keep that death grip on that phone. And if you succeeded, you have the phone available to you.
Yeah, but if I don't think
I will tell you, you will own. Yes, if you fail, I will say if you fail, just normal, just miss the target. You have it, but you too shaky to be able to do anything with it. If you fail by 5 or more, then it's gone.
I mean, I'm good at athletics check, but the chances of my dice rolling a natural one on a
I mean,
disadvantage right now, nah.
You can go big and then gain advantage. It's a strength check.
Yeah, to cancel it out.
The
Well, then
DC is 13.
Bigger target to like target for Olo as well, maybe.
That too.
Will it help? Will it help?
How long does
Will
the
it make me
going big
fall?
last?
How long does it last? I feel like it's for a minute or something. Hang on. So much stuff on my sheet. Giant's Might. Yeah, it's a minute.
I mean, it's not gonna affect your impact, but it
It'll
may
be well
help
before that.
with visibility and such.
Yeah, okay. Because I haven't seen Olo, right? Because I couldn't see him with my crappy perception check. So I'll get big as a bonus because I'm out of things I can do to heal myself.
In that case, I will allow. It's a gamble. Although, if you want to send the voicemail,
I'll decide against it.
okay.
And I would like to see if I can see Olo.
Now make a perception check.
It's still a disadvantage,
Disadvantage,
but I'm
yes.
the bigger target.
But it's a lower DC because, there's been some movement. There's someone on the roof now. And you've now fallen 3,000 feet.
13, 5.
Oh, 2,500 now. The next one will be 3,000.
Section 16.
16. You see him.
13 plus 3.
You see that there is a car and someone's clambered on the roof. That, someone's either it's just like a performance piece or someone
One
has
of my
deliberately
idiots.
risen in the air and gone on the roof. Something's up. Likely, given the information available to you, you can only guess that it's Olo.
I don't know. Can I use whatever action I have to try to like calm the sheer panic and try to just like figure out what I need to do?
Let's have you make make this a wisdom save.
Okay.
What are the DC of this one again? A 13.
Disadvantage. Boo. Yes. There we go. 4. Probably the most useless thing I could have saved for, but 19.
You realize you have been trained in crisis management. Usually it's, violent altercations, crimes and such, but it's the same training of, focus on the situation, panic later. So you push the sheer terror of I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, just enough to be able to focus on what to do. Your heart is still racing a mile a minute, but you are focused.
Okay.
What do you wish to do?
I'm going to try to get closer to Olo. I'm trying to like if he's coming up to me, I'm going in my head, he's got some plan because I have nothing. So I'm gonna try to get that
Okay,
way.
I will have you make an acrobatics check for me. The DC is going to be
Not great at this.
13. So try to angle yourself in the right place.
Do his disadvantage. See what I get. No.
There is a plus. There's been 2 +3s given. I'll allow you to use one of them if it helps you.
I rolled a 6. 2 of them wouldn't help me.
Yeah. So that is you try to get in course. You veer off course and getting further away from Olo.
I did also roll a 12.
So that brings us to 3,500 feet now. That section of the fall. You want to repeat the same roll? Olo, I'm gonna guess that you're holding.
I am going to cast Minor Illusion.
Putting a big
It's gonna-
target.
No, I can't. It's too small. But what I am going to do is make an announcement. Emergency, move away. Super loud.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Perfect. People have cleared the streets. Authorities are being called. So in the distance, you hear people coming. But as is always the case, and by the rules of horror movies,
I'm not here yet.
the authorities will only arrive after the end of the crisis. So, with that, Errol, your turn. What do you want to do?
It's not yet time to
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm more focused now. I am. What Errol do? I mean, Errol was trying to make peace with this, but now he's like got hope again. So he's like, every time I reach out to you, you point me in the right direction. And then he just laser focuses on Olo and tries to get towards him again. But he is now like almost like continuous prayer in his head because he prayed and he saw something come to save him. So he's like, every time, find my hope again. I'm going to try to get towards him again. It's acrobatics, right?
Yes. DC 13.
Eight, 9, 10. So could I use one of the +3s?
I'll allow it.
Did you say DC 13?
Yes.
Yeah, then I will use one of the +3s if that's all right and try to get
Thank you so
back
much
on
for
target.
Logan
Thank you.
Pandemonium for that +3 given to Errol. You have now aimed yourself correctly to fall. At which point I will offer you both something. We skip ahead to the final 500 feet. Where it's going to be the do or die situation.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Although you are 200 feet up, Errol is falling like a meteor. You have your spell ready, but I'm going to need a dexterity check from you at a DC 20 with advantage because you've been preparing for this. But he is falling at such a high speed that you still need to target him and get it off at the right time, or he's going to zip past you.
And I have activated Hill Giant.
Sure. I've activated it. The moment you saw Olo, you activated it. Or you wish to wait until Olo is not. I'll allow you. At this point, we won't care about order of rounds or anything. You can activate at any point before hitting the ground. So if you want to keep it for now, that's fine.
Okay. I'll hang on to it till the last minute.
If Olo fails this roll, we'll assume you activated, and well, we'll see what happens.
Okay. At this point, if he knows that Olo's going to catch him or thinks Olo's going to catch him,
I mean, Olo
He's
is
just
there waiting for
holding on to
something.
he's just holding on to it, and he'll activate it if he needs to.
Yeah.
26.
Okay. Errol, you are falling, and you see Olo getting closer and closer. And there's a moment where you can clearly see him, and and you see the words springing from his mouth and the movement of the hands. You see that he's casting a spell. And as you're almost passing in front of him, where you can see the whites in his eyes, and there's a moment of perhaps mutual panic. You pass him, but then you feel almost like a cushion, and the speed begins to slower and lower and lower. And over the course of the next 3 rounds, from falling 500 feet per round, you fall at a rate of 60 per round. And slowly until you descend onto the ground. And you are in terra firma. You're on the ground. I'm going to need a wisdom save from you right now. Because you have just gone out of this situation. This is where, shock or anything might still come into play. It's just to see how well composed you are, because anyone in this room would be just a wreck emotionally.
16.
You are rattled, but you are functional. You probably won't be getting into many fights, but you'll be coherent when you're talking. The guy in the car is celebrating and hooting like crazy and brings the car down to street level.
I'll jump down, turn around to him, shake his hand. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There's no other. He's just stammering because this is not every day.
I take 20 gold out my pouch, hand it to him.
Given 20, that's like giving someone $20 in this reality. It's not
Get a drink on me.
Get a drink on me. That's good. Yeah. He nods and just stays like with a death grip on the steering wheel. He did not save properly for. Are you coherent? No. This is a moment of a very high for him.
You saved a life today, man. He's a hero.
Yeah. I leave the rest to you.
Ol waits for Olo because he doesn't trust his legs just yet.
I mean, you are trembling. That is not. You are trembling.
Leaders, but trembling.
I walk over, put my arm around his leg because that's about as high as I can reach. I'm like, not fancy doing those stairs again.
He very slowly lowers himself to his knees and then just hugs Olo with the tightest hug. But he's shaking.
Not so tight, man.
Smushed.
So
And
what happened?
He just whispers to you. It was Rotro. He's with the quiet.
As far as you know, although no one's come out of that tower.
He's probably still in there. Let's call the others. You don't look like you're in a state to do anything at the moment.
It's
I
gonna
think
devolve.
I think that's what Errol just does. Just starts laughing.
Devolves
Just starts
into
laughing.
laughter.
Just completely dissociated then right now.
God, mind empty.
Yeah. Calls are made to the both of you, Will and RaQui. What do you tell them in the call, Olo?
I'll just tell him. I'll tell him everything I know. As far as I know, that he's still in a tower, but he's in the quiet. It's probably empty.
Yeah, you have been just told that Errol was almost fell to his death, but he's quote unquote fine. And Roderick is one of the quiet, is still apparently in that tower. What do you all do?
I'm banging on Will's door. If she doesn't answer in the next 2 seconds, I'm going on my own.
Before, like, the first, like, bang, and then it swings open.
Just like, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to turn around and start running towards
we
my
don't
car.
say anything, we just go.
Okay. You all gather at the entrance of this tower. Do be aware that you are at one of the entrances, which is the one in the district where you have your apartment. There are other 3 exits in other districts, but you only have the information you have available. So, what do you do?
At this point, I'm assuming that the authorities are here.
Oh, yes, the authorities have finally arrived, yes.
And I'm gonna go and find whoever's in charge.
There's an old-looking Tuscar detective. Looks straight out of a Disney movie, really. Big trench coat, hat, and smoking a cigar. Just big walrus stash. Is it Tuscar the race, or is that World of Warcraft? Give me a sec. Oh, that's World of Warcraft. Sorry. That race is not here. Let's make him. Oh, he's a bugbear. Big bugbear, just with, again, trench coat, the hat, and a big cigar. Goes, your approach, yeah, can I help you?
Good evening, sir. I'm gonna flash him both my Seeker's ID and also my medical examiner ID.
He looks at you. He sees the Seeker. Okay, fine. Sees the medical examiner and says, "Oh, I know you. What can I do for you, Doc?"
I understand there's a potential that the individual in question is still in the tower. Just wondered what your plan of action was.
We only came here because, told us someone had jumped off. I was thinking I was going to find someone that I had to pick up with a spatula. Saying this was a murder attempt?
Absolutely looks that way.
Okay, give me a moment. And he pulls and makes the call and essentially sends units to the other 2 entrances to the tower. Says, that's the best I can do. We can send people up, but at least in this location, the lift's broken. So it's going to be a long way on foot. We are getting some cars ready to go up, though, to the veranda if you want to join us.
I'll liaise with my colleagues and then I'll get back to you. Thank you for the information. I head back to the rest of the guys and explain what they've done and what they're planning on doing.
That's the question. Do you all want to head up to that veranda?
Yes.
Okay. I will forgo anything else, and you arrive at the veranda. It is empty. At least seemingly empty.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna look for that son of a bitch.
Yeah, as am I.
Okay, investigation checks, please.
One thing that I'm bad at. Yeah, no.
Dirty 20.
Okay. And Will.
That was a wonderful 8.
Will, you are just stomping.
Yes.
You're just stomping around in just
Yes.
hair wild in the wind at this height.
Yep.
But not being extremely helpful in the investigation. But making it very clear that you're angry and someone's going to pay for it.
Yes. 100%. I will get my war on.
RaQui, with a dirty 20, you find almost like an emergency panel, usually has like a fire axe or, the hose for fire in it, etc. And you find that it's been tampered with. Basically, the lock's been removed and everything. You open it, and out of it fall a set of clothes. But not just a set of clothes. You find among the bundle, you find that these are Roderick's clothes, and also find Roderick's face as almost like a mask. And with a dirty 20, among them, you find a paper. You find a paper with numbers on them. You make an insight check or a tech roll to figure out, or even another. You know what? I'll allow investigation again as well.
21.
These are coordinates. Also, you know that this number being left here is not an accident.
So, I'm going to evidence bag it all individually, and the coordinates.
In a pocket.
I am going to also put in an evidence bag, but they do go into my pocket.
Okay. How? Okay, it's perfectly fine. I was going to be judgy, but no, it's fine.
I'm really angry, and RaQui has background with the quiet, so she's a bit triggered right now. So
yeah, you are. I would hope so. That yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You turn everything in. There's no body, and the only thing you found is clothes and a mask. So. Not much to go on, but still the authorities are saying keeping an eye out for, looking at cameras or anything, see where the guy went or if someone left the premises during the time, and they will get back to you with any information. The guild and the police work really close in this city, so at least, in Cardiff in general, work very closely, so... sharing information, unless it comes from higher up saying don't say anything, usually freely shared. Also, you are who you are, and you've worked with these people so many times before. You're kind of the local medical examiner celebrity, so they're gonna tell you anything you want to know.
Yeah.
Hey, you have coordinates.
I'm gonna go and check that Errol is okay.
Errol, you are, paramedics have come. They've essentially just checked you over. And mostly just, kind of gave you a warm blanket just for, the feeling of comfort and safety. You're muted.
I am just sat either at the back of the paramedics van or on the sidewalk somewhere, just head in hands. But he's processing. This is hard, since the paranoia normally means he doesn't make friends particularly easily. He doesn't trust people particularly easily. And he felt like he had a connection to Roderick, and he genuinely believes that what Roderick just did, he didn't want to do. That their conversation beforehand was honest, but he still made that choice anyway. And now he has to process that.
Yep. Yeah, you do. I will say, between the care and everything, you definitely need some rest.
Yeah. I think he's gonna wait for the others because he doesn't want to just wander off.
To be fair, you have 3
He's
levels
not
of
lucid enough.
exhaustion.
Yeah,
you can
he's
barely
not
move as
lucid
it
enough
is.
to be doing anything. He's not lucid enough or well enough right now to be doing much of anything. He's just waiting for his friends.
You're essentially moving at 15 feet per round, so you are shuffling at this point. You did climb too many stairs.
Oh yeah, before I fell off the fucking bill.
On the upside, it was a slow way up, or a long way down, or a fast way down.
Oh yeah, I'll start taking those routes from now.
Okay. You all gather around Mr. Errol.
Oh, you didn't find him, I take it.
No. Just the disguise that he left.
Disguise. What kind of disguise?
His face.
So was Roderick a real person replaced? Or
was
it always a disguise?
Does it sound like what was happening back in Maru with when we found those, what were they? The butterfly jackets, and they all had dead people's faces. Way back in the beginning of this campaign.
For you, Olo, and you don't even need to roll for this because this is you lived this. This is the same case as Biros from the beginning. Someone who was already gone, just replaced.
I'll let the rest of them know.
If Roderick was it wasn't him. Whoever we've been dealing with is not him.
It doesn't really matter who he is. What matters is that he's one of them. I'm just going to sort of have like a shady look round to see. I want to check to see whether or not there's anybody in earshot, if anybody's watching us.
Make a perception check for me.
21.
21. I mean, there's people watching because there's authority and people gawking, but no one that seems to be looking at you intently with anything untoward or seemingly out of place.
Okay. So I'm very quietly and discreetly going to be like, guys, there was something else.
Let's maybe we go. Can we go back before we have this conversation?
Sure.
And like he looks at you, RaQui, like he's purposefully cut you off, but he looks wrecked. Like he's not sure whatever you're going to say, he can currently process on top of everything else. You're like, there's something else. And he's like, I can't. Like, please. It's like a pleading look.
Would RaQui stop?
I don't know. Can you tell that it's a pleading look? RaQui's so good with people.
Wow, thanks.
Errol's also so great with people. You can just carry on. He said it quietly to the group.
I'm really sorry, Errol, but I need a decision right now. There was one more piece of evidence, which is currently in my pocket. And I need to know what you want me to do with it.
It's not his face, is it?
No.
Frame it.
Okay. Okay.
I have been tracing these individuals for years. They stole all of my research. This is not the first time that we've come across them. And now they have the audacity to resurface again. If you don't want me to hand this over, I won't. If you don't want it, then I will hand it over.
What is it?
And I just pull it very discreetly out of my pocket.
It's a piece of paper with some numbers on it. From the way it's written, fairly obvious that it's coordinates.
Yeah. These are coordinates.
If they were left there, you were meant to find them. Not sure. Whoever he was assumed I would die. It wasn't meant for me. Maybe he's leading you somewhere. I fucking know. Maybe it's a trap. Maybe it's an apology.
Have you checked where the coordinates are?
Heck.
I tap them into my weaver.
They are for a different storage place somewhere in the city.
God, another one.
Do you guys want to go? I can't go anywhere right now.
Whatever it is, it will wait until we rest.
Unless it, well, Eros's place stayed untouched until we went to find it. Make of that what you will.
If it's a trap, they'll wait till we turn up. If it's something else, then Roderick
And they
gave
don't know
it to
about it.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have time to make sure we're ready for whatever comes.
I slide the coordinates back into my pocket. Errol, let's get you home.
Try to stand. Lean on the first person of my height that I can.
You head home and rest for the evening, so everybody get a long rest. You could remove those exhaustion levels. And this is where we're going to take our 10-minute break. We're back in 10 minutes with the rest of our story and see what our characters get up to. See you all in a bit.
To be like with his dad, not his mum, but definitely his dad.
Oh, we're back. It's the next day. You have had a chance to rest and recuperate. I'm gonna guess that for Errol, it was a thing of maybe a bit of difficulty going to sleep, but once you were out like a light.
Yeah.
It is the next day. What do you wish to do?
Errol is going to go through all the motions of his morning routine. He texts his family and says, "I love you." Which is not necessarily his morning routine because he normally phones them before bed because it makes sense in the time for them.
Yeah, but I'm guessing the last night wasn't normal.
So he gets up and he makes sure that they know that he loves them.
How do you
And when
word
he
it?
runs,
How do you word it? Knowing Errol, does it come off as fairly evident for someone insightful to realize something's happened?
I think,
Or is it simply like a simple "I love you," or do you get a bit more detailed?
honestly, I don't think he's all that with it. Because he didn't process shit last night. He slept.
Or yes, true.
So it's very much, sorry, I didn't message last night. I love you. Full stop.
Okay. All of you wake up in your different apartments. You have your different morning routines. What do you wish to do?
I'm sending out a group message. I'm following the coordinates. I'm leaving in 30 minutes.
Outside of the door, like within minutes, Will is there. She has a travel flask for you of coffee that she has made, one for herself. And she
You
just waits there.
will see as well that my apartment is very much a mess because I did not sleep very easily because I was going through all of my old case files again and digging out where I'd stored the journal after it got stolen the last time, and I started rewriting as much as I could remember. I've basically been digging through all of my old case files to dig out that old journal. So it's a bit of a mess in my apartment right now.
I'm not going to say anything. Why would I say anything? I am on a mission.
Is anyone? What time do you send the message out, RaQui?
Let's call it 8:30 in the morning.
If Errol was up at, okay, he had to sleep full because he can't get up as early as he normally would because he was exhausted. So if he got up at, let's say, 7:30, because he went straight to bed, right, when they got back. How long does it take him to run
It's up to you. That's literally your choice.
the temple?
I mean, given that the level of exhaustion from yesterday, you would be sore as hell the next day. So would
Okay.
Errol still
the
try to run
temple.
an hour, or would be like, fuck this today?
He's not really running for running at the minute. He's running to just do his routine because he needs to focus on that right now, because if he doesn't, he's not quite sure what's going to happen. But he's not running like his normal, like 3-mile run or whatever it is he does. He's running to the temple, or in this case, jogging to the temple. He needs connection.
The temple from where you are, is the local one. Roll D20 for me. Let's make it a luck check. High or low? Sorry, first high or low, then
Low.
roll.
Low, I guess.
Tell me now, high or low, and then roll.
With my dice, low.
You called it. So.
18, so high, I guess.
18. The temple here is far away, like middle of the district, middle of the academy. So from your where you're living, it would be, the run there at a run pace. Your usual pace would be near like an hour.
Dog pace.
So you're going at snail pace. It's gonna take a while, a few hours,
It's going to
like
jog,
a couple of
but
hours.
it'll take a while. So let's say that's 7:30, an hour. He's halfway there. Yeah. So if he doesn't get there, then he gets the message. Because if he gets there, he turns his phone off, or like at least turns it on to silent. He wouldn't have heard it. That's why
Then
I
you
was
get
trying
the
to work out.
message while you're midway there. That RaQui is planning this.
Message is back. I'm an hour away.
You get a message back that says, I'm leaving in 30 minutes.
He texts back, I don't have magic teleportation powers.
You don't get a reply.
Hey, Olo.
I'll go looking for breakfast, but I guess there's not been any made, so I'm kind of disappointed.
I mean, you have your own place,
no.
so you can make your own damn breakfast.
I have cereal.
That's
No,
good
I have
enough.
a cereal bar because I haven't even bought milk yet.
Straight for the
And then
box.
Box, but no milk.
And then I'll go and meet up with the rest of them.
I'll run you. You still you took that other job from the board, right? The missing.
Yeah.
Okay. That is still active. You're not the only person looking into it, so you know it's not a case that if you don't do it urgently, someone's gonna die. I mean, they might, but it's not gonna be your fault.
Yeah, I've kind of forgot about that at the moment.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sure I'll get reminded of it at the worst possible time.
It's possible. That's how things usually work. But anyway, you all leave within 30 minutes. And are you truly leaving Arrow behind? Or is RaQui bluffing?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I said I was leaving in 30 minutes. I'm leaving in 30 minutes.
I'm an hour away. Even if I turn
And
around, I don't make it
Errol,
back.
by the time you return, everyone's gone. So you are left alone with your thoughts.
And he's annoyed because of that. He has to walk in that back. Okay, then he scraps that idea and he'll get dressed and he'll. Olo told him about the case. He'll go find he'll just go look into the case. He has to do something. He can't do nothing.
You're heading then into the guild to get the information about the job. Okay.
It's what we were going to do before I fell off the building.
RaQui and Olo and Will, you arrive at the location the coordinates point to, and you find that the coordinates point to a specific, like the coordinates are precise. They point specifically to a locker. What you wish to do?
Can I don't know if I have it in my module, in my loadout. Let me have a look. That one. Oh, I do have it. Can I use Luxie from my Weaver module?
Yes, you turn on. Basically, for those watching, that gives you the ability to detect magic. I mean, everything in these storage containers is magical. Usually, because as you know, as was your grandfather's, they're bigger on the inside than the outside. You don't see anything overt magical. Well, nothing outside of the ordinary. It's a lot of like transmutation effects on the doors and everything, but nothing out of ordinary. You know, don't see any like evocation auras or anything. You will know more once you open the container.
Olo, are you able to get us in?
Probably. I have a quick look for any physical.
There is a
traps.
normal padlock.
Okay, I'll just attempt to open the
Make
padlock.
a thieves tools check for me. The DC is gonna give you 17.
18.
You put in your lockpick. It's been a while since you've been doing it, but you literally taught classes on this. So you end opening the padlock. Fortunately for you, this storage place seems to be very much a bit run down. Not that many people. The person at the desk saw you come in and didn't even question it. There aren't that many people around, so don't need to bother too much with it. And you have removed the lock. Do you open the door? Like roll up?
I step to the side and then I open the door.
You open it, and inside you find machinery. Lots of things beeping at a low volume. Screens with stats. You see an actual an ECG and EKG machine. So you see heartbeat and brain activity, and you see in the back partially covered is a large tank, like a cylinder filled with some liquid. It's partially covered. There's a gurney and there's some boxes and stuff also around. And the desk with some papers.
I know they're not dead, but this looks more like your thing.
I'm gonna go and take a look.
Yeah, I'll come with you, but I'll stay in front of you just in case something comes out.
What do you want to do?
Do you want to go towards the tank?
Can I look at the papers and machinery first to see if I can figure out what might be in that tank before I go near it?
I will allow you tell for the papers, make an investigation check. For the other stuff, I'll allow either another investigation, medicine, or tech, whichever you prefer.
Investigation. So a dirty 20 for the papers, and 13 for the other.
For the papers, you tell me how RaQui feels as she's reading this. The papers you find are your old journal, photocopies of it. Every shred of information that you've ever had on the quiet there, in paper, and you see there are annotations on it, mostly scratching things out, saying like she's wrong, if only she knew, just like someone using the papers to profile how well you would be able to. You can get the idea immediately that the papers were used to gauge how well you could point out someone as a member of a quiet. And of course, there's papers on all of you, particularly extensive papers on Errol, including psychological profile, what he likes, what he doesn't, his romantic history, everything.
So I guess there's 3 things. The first is anger, rage. Like, that is my research. All of the stuff that they stole from me. And then as I read through the annotations on it and realize that there's comments relating to how I identify quiet agents, I guess a realization kind of sinks in that they've used this to keep Rotrick hidden. So then I start to feel really sick. And then the final thought, as I read through the profiles, particularly the stuff around Errol, is I don't want anybody else to have this. I've lost my notes once. I also don't want all of this information, personal information that's been gathered upon everybody, to be shared. So therefore, this paperwork is now mine. So I guess the final feeling is a very possessive feeling over it. So kind of like rage and anger to begin with, that kind of almost moves into like a sicky guilt feeling, and then a very possessive, this is my stuff and I'm going to keep it, I'm going to take it, I'm going to keep it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got it. If you're wondering what's there about about the rest of you, there's the least amount about Olo. There are some annotations that about his family, and unsure whether he is who his name claims him to be. There are details about Aldara, though, but more just, like profiles. For Will, it's her family, her adoptive family, and notes very recent, most likely by Roderick, or quote unquote Roderick, about Clara. And yours, very much detailing, your career. There are notes about your obsession with the quiet, and the fact that notes from you were taken are being used actively. And there's a mention about your family, and among them is one for your aunt that has a label of actually like the cease and desist version of this is like, do not even approach. It's marked as a class S. Sorry, not class S. Class T hazard to approach her. You don't know what the classification is, but it says class T hazard.
That just makes me love her even more.
With a 13, you gather 2 points of evidence. Two clues. One, the subject is still alive. There's, all the readings seem to indicate someone who's alive. But in some form of like suspended animation.
Can I try and see if I recognize who it is?
You remove the cover from the tank, and it's Roderick, or at least the person, body shape. It's Roderick.
I'm going to pick the paperwork up, turn to the others and say, that's him. We need to call this in.
Yeah. Kind of glad Errol went for that run. So yeah, I'll call it in straight away.
A team is essentially dispatched from the Seekers Guild with I forgot the word, has the receptionist Sother is the one that leads it, and they arrive, and to say shocked is an understatement, but they more or less you took all the papers, right?
Yeah, so whilst we're waiting for the team to arrive, I've taken those papers and put them in my car, so they're no longer there.
I will be guarding the tank just in case it opens, ready to smack him in the face.
Okay, when the team arrives, they extract him from the tank.
That's fine. I will keep a close eye. Like in between, whilst we were waiting for them to arrive, she's like there, like. So.
Okay, the figure is suspended in the tank, not awake in any way.
He could have woken up at any point. That's why she's like.
Has not woken up. And as he's removed and taken away, still unconscious. There's a team left there just to look over, what's left, to figure anything out. If you want to, you can leave or you can help them. In this case, they will give you advantage on an investigation check if you wanted to look for anything else. Or would RaQui at this point be, I'm done and leave?
No, I think I'd have at least one more final sweep just to make sure that I haven't missed anything.
Make an investigation check with advantage.
23.
23. The primary thing you find that you couldn't see before is that you find essentially like the telemetry from the machinery, and kind of figure out that the figure in the tank has been in suspended animation for 3 years. And you find this extensive hidden out in a pretty much like a cabinet that was not possible to be seen because the tank full of water kind of blocked it out of sight. Is essentially the same extensive paperwork that was on Errol, but on Roderick.
Okay.
And that is definitely all you find.
Okay. I let the team deal with the final bits and pieces and go to leave.
With the Roderick's paperwork, one thing you see is that in terms of skills, basically in game terms, in terms of class and specializations and everything, he is exactly what the Roderick you interacted with was.
Do I kind of take from that they've almost cloned him, essentially?
You get the feeling that the impersonation is so perfect, that they went into there are notes on mannerisms. And someone had to be prepared to acquire the same skill set to be able to do this impersonation. To the point where the fact that he could be there for 3 years and not a single person question it in the Seekers Guild or even suspect anything belies how perfect and how thorough this was.
Yeah. Head off.
Okay. Errol, you are taking public transport. By the time you arrive in the Seekers Guild, I would say Sother has just left. Like you catch her, you don't even catch her because you left in a car with everyone else. So the reception is fairly empty. The board is still there. You can take on any job from the board. I think everyone is frozen.
You froze for a second.
Oh, no, 3 of you froze for me. So, okay. Anyway, you can freely take any job from the board, but if you needed any additional details, you would talk to the receptionist, who's not there at the moment.
Not there.
Yeah.
Who's in charge here? I've forgotten their name.
The person in charge is an Arrowcockra known as Ticker.
I think I'd like to let them know about Roderick. At this point, Errol just knows them that whoever it is isn't Roderick because RaQui found his face. But he's not with them right now, so he doesn't know any of that yet. But
when RaQui called this in, what details did she give?
Olo was the one that called it in.
How many details did Olo provide?
I just gave them all the details we had.
Okay. In that case,
except obviously I didn't mention the paperwork.
Okay. In that case, Errol, when you arrive with to look for Ticker, you find him in his office, which is pretty much the ground floor, and doesn't look so much like, for example, like Timothy's office, who kind of look like formal, like this is the director's, like the guild leader's office. This looks like like a handyman's, like a supply closet. There's tools and stuff to fix shit all around, because he is pretty much like the building's handyman, aside from being the guild leader. And he's like, Errol, come on in. How are you feeling? Bit of a nasty fall yesterday, I take it.
All incorrect. I was pushed.
Yes, Roderick. You need to sit. You should sit down.
Six follows the order.
So we've
Nearest chair.
received some information from your colleagues from Olo, RaQui, everyone.
Yeah.
We found Roderick.
Okay.
Well, we found, at this point, I'm going to say
One?
a Roderick.
Okay.
In a storage locker, in a tank, in there, in suspended animation. I'm going to let, once they arrive, we're going to have a bit of a debriefing. Up to you. I mean, maybe, go grab something to drink, get something in the canteen. They'll be around soon, and we can have the entire conversation there and figure everything out.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Do you need some time? I know you already put some paperwork for some time off. If you want to just head home and take some time off, that's perfectly fine.
I need to keep busy.
Yeah, that's not healthy, but you're a grown ass man, so as long as you're not putting yourself or anyone else in danger,
No, I was gonna go to.
You can do whatever you want.
I was gonna go to temple today, and then I was supposed to go with them, but they all left without me, so I just need to be busy today.
I'll just hold up, hold on for a bit. Everyone's likely to come here, and we can figure things out.
Thanks. Can I borrow a laptop?
Sure. And he says, just go to the third floor is the library. There are some things available there.
I know where the library is. It's where I find RaQui. And he wanders up. He's going to spend however long it takes for them to get here. He is in full tunnel vision work mode, and he's going to try to put into a cohesive format all of his case notes as such from at the beginning of the campaign till now, everything that he can think of that might be helpful in this, because when we found the people with the wearing dead people's faces, they were not they weren't part of our quiet investigation. They were part of a separate thing. So now he's trying to see if he can find any strings that link anything else together. He's just kind of going for. He's just going through this is all that we know. This is everything that he knows from what he was looking into, and he's just trying to put all information out there. Once he's put it all into a format, he is then going to look for any links, but he's very aware that he's not in his completely right mind right now. So his paranoia will take over, but he's also going to note this could be nothing. However, this is a string, or this is a string.
I'm going to ask you a question about Errol's state of mind. How hard is he trying to push back having to actually deal with what happened. Not so much the event, both the event of, falling 3,000 kilometers down, but also the conversation with Roderick and just everything dealing with essentially that friendship and everything that happened.
He isn't stamping it down, and that's part of why he's now in like full work mode, because he's just replaying the conversation over in his head. And like, you can tell me if I need to do an insight check or something in retrospect, but it felt like it was genuine what was said.
Make an insight check.
From Roderick's point of view. Let's do. I'm not at disadvantage anymore. Haha. Roll. Okay. What is my insight? Open, please. Hello. Insight. Am I social loadout right now? Probably, yes. So 25.
25. As far as you could tell, he was truly conflicted. And from his words, he seemed to truly care about you.
Yeah, and I think that's everything else. He's not processing. It's just that it hasn't had the impact that conversation had. Because he's trying to. That's the hard bit here. That's the bit that he's like not really wanting to super examine right now. Because if he examines it too hard, he has to come to some conclusions about what any of that means, and he doesn't want to. Everything else he could process. Like, this isn't his first death. It's not his first horrifying situation. Those things are awful and horrendous, and he does need to process them, but he's not. That's not the thing. That's not the thing that's really getting to him right now. It was the look in Roderick's eyes and the honesty in what he said. And then he still did what he did. So yeah, that's the bit. And he's not trying to like ignore everything. It's just that he was planning to go break down in the temple this morning, but apparently they needed him back, and he came back and they all backed off without him. So
make a wisdom save for me. I'm gonna make this DC 15 to see if that breakdown happens, or if you can hold on still. As you are writing this, you are going through the events again in your head over and over.
Annoyingly, it's a 14.
And it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention there are 2+3s available if you wish to take one of them.
Yeah, I think Errol needs to hold it together right now. If nobody is mad about me doing that.
And that's a +3. Thank you, Megan, for that.
Thanks, Megan, for the.
We will have words.
Baby trauma.
You continue writing down what essentially is your campaign memoirs.
Yep.
And we go now to the others, and you have arrived at the Seekers Guild. Roger is being taken to almost like the infirmary wing and being is going to be under observation. Ticker, and so they'll go, okay, we're going to need, a full explanation of what's going on. You all seem to know a bit more than us. Ticker goes, oh, by the way, Errol's here. I think he's in the library. So if you want to go pick him up, and then we can have that conversation.
I guess that will be me because I know where the library is.
So do I.
Well, I'm going to head to the library.
Will, you get a call.
Okay.
You answer. It's Clara's number.
Mm-hmm.
When you pick up, what you hear is just a string of profanity. Like just 30 seconds full of it. At the end, she said, "You know what? Fuck him. I'm out." And it's like, just tell me when and where, babe. We'll hit them. We'll kill them all. We'll get your mom.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that soon. But how about you come to my place, because I'm ready to kill someone.
Wait, what did you say? You're ready for what?
To kill someone.
There's a moment of pause. That sounds hot. And it says, I'll be there. I'll be on the next flight, and I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
So Clara is coming here for what promises to be an eventful few days. Because it is dramatically appropriate, Errol, you get a text from Corin, says, I can be there in a couple of days. I've moved things back, and I can be there in a couple of days.
Oh my god, can you imagine them meeting Clara?
And I say, about the time you get this message is when RaQui arrives at the library.
So then he's like, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. It's fine.
Mintra appears around you. RaQui says, RaQui, and she goes, I've been counting down to him just starting crying. I don't know what the hell's happened to him, but he's been nearly crying for the past hour. So I give him 20 more minutes.
Thanks, Mintra. I'll take him from here.
Yeah, the goth genasi just turns into a cloud and leaves.
I don't look at Errol, but I just call Errol's name.
Oh, Errol!
You're back then. Yeah, okay. Pick up the laptop. I don't know why it's this big.
This is a giant. It's the size of an Xbox.
I was like, pick up the laptop. Why is
the laptop is tiny, but it's attached to a CRT TV, so you have to.
I take the desktop, and then pick up the laptop, and then take another a big breath. Turn around.
Okay, do you want to make what is your passive insight?
It's actually really high.
Well,
oh no. No. Stop it. It's actually the lowest of the three. 16 for insight.
You want to roll deception to see how well your keeping it together, or is his state of mind, the conflict in him, visible in his face?
I mean, have advantage on deception, but it's a +2, so like let's just not.
I mean, you could still succeed.
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily trying to like. He's trying to keep it together. He's not trying to pretend
you're
he's fine.
Echoing.
Sorry. Yeah, he's trying to keep it together. He's not trying to pretend that everything is fine. So you definitely know that he's like that close.
Yeah,
It's like
he's
that
on the
close.
verge. Yeah.
If you come close enough to hug, he might just like it might be it.
Primed emotional grenade.
You come in hugging distance, he might like just fall.
I do not come in hugging distance. In fact, I'm still not looking at you. And I just go, come on, motion to the door and turn to walk back out.
We'll gather. Although Souther tells you, as soon as we're done here, I'll give you the update on the job posting.
Okay, thank you.
There hasn't been much progress. We have a few other seekers looking around different districts. I would actually like you to take a look at a different thing.
Okay, I can do that, sure.
So you know what? Let me just do it. And while you're waiting, she goes to like the reception, pulls out some information, and says, and shows you footage of the kid. It's a kid who's missing. It was missing from a public transport stop. And it shows a kid, walking to the side of like the bus stop, and there's a sudden flash of light, and the kid's not there anymore. It says, "We have people combing the districts. I need you to go to that bus stop." It's like the stops here are lettered, so that will be like stop K in this district. It's actually in this district. It says, go there, and she hands you a pass. It's like a little card. Tap this on the side of the stop, and I think it will take you to where the kid is. But I'll need you to check that for me, please.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Everybody gathers, and RaQui, I'm just going to ask you, in terms of details, what do you give and what don't you give? At the same time, Errol, how much of the event do you recount? What do you keep to yourself?
Errol will tell everyone that it was public. It was here in the foyer when Roderick threw the phone, so everybody knows that happened. He says he spoke to him. He seemed really torn up, and he asked that he said he needed a friend, and Errol said that he would come back. So they went and did the thing that they needed to do with RaQui, and he came back to meet him at the top of the tower. And he'll tell everybody that they had a conversation, and Errol's pretty certain that he didn't want to do this, but he did. And he told him that he was part quiet as he pushed him.
RaQui, what do you share? What don't you share?
So I'm gonna share the fact that I found the coordinates.
Okay.
And explain that I did not hand them over to evidence straight away because I wanted to make sure that I could get first access to the storage unit to make sure that no evidence was disturbed and that we would have as much hope of trying to identify the impersonator as possible. Outside of that, I give all of the information bar the paperwork.
In terms of Olo, do you contribute anything to this conversation? Retell anything you wish to retell?
No, I'm just thinking about this job I took.
Will, anything that Will wants to add in any capacity?
Yeah, Will probably say something along the lines of that her reasoning for going along and not informing them is because if they've been infiltrated by the Quiet, they couldn't really be trusted, which is why we wanted to get the evidence first. Because if we went afterwards, we wouldn't have known if there was anything that they tried hiding from us.
Neither Tigger nor Zother take either offense or anything or that. That's perfectly reasonable. In fact, in truth, unless we find a way of distinguishing them, we can never know. So we can either be paranoid or just keep going as we would normally do and figure things out. But that's fine. We're keeping an eye out on this Roderick. I don't know if it's the real one. I don't know. That's something to figure out when he wakes up. I will keep you informed, though, given that you share everything. If he's been in there for about 3 years, there's a good chance that he might not even know who any of you are.
We need to let the captain. Where were we last?
And Reverend Day, yeah.
We need to let Reverend Day know because he was there. That's where we met him. We need to let Reverend Day know that they are not secure.
Yeah. The city is not secure. Yeah, the Tigger goes, I have informed Maritza, the captain, of part of the developments. I will be giving her a briefing later on everything that's been going on. We'll figure out from there.
She trusted him too.
That goes for everyone here. As far as we know, I mean, Roderick's been a seeker for at least 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
A lot of people know him, a lot of connections in Cardis with the different communities. So to say this is a hit, it is, and we'll have to figure out what we do.
What case was he on roughly about 3 years ago? Are we able to get that information from some archives?
Yeah, I think so. Souther, please get on that and get us. If we can get us any information, we'll pass it along and take a look from there.
The last person I saw him interact with before this conversation, and I'll describe the man that is on my list. Who is that? The elf man. I think he's an elf.
Oh, it says I have information on that. The man's name is Carrick. He's just someone here in Cardis who was who came to the guild asking for help, and we assigned Roderick to his case.
Maybe call him in for questioning.
Yeah, but it was our decision as a guild to, assign Roderick to that job. We can get information in case Roderick did anything untowards, but I wouldn't at this moment consider him a suspect.
I wouldn't think so.
With that, I'll get that information for you. And Jade, please make a note that you have inspiration for a delightful choice. You've attained the secret objective.
Oh, okay. I'm worried now.
Also a point for RaQui for taking the paperwork.
Okay.
For indulging in being truly delightfully selfish. The meeting is adjourned. You have given all the information you can. Still very much a touch and go situation, because until Roderick wakes up and they can assess, the point in time, the last thing he remembers, if he, which Roderick this is, etc. A lot of things are left in the air. But we'll be looking at, Roderick's last bit of casework.
Yep. If none of you need me, I'm gonna go.
Are you going home?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a detour past church.
Do you want some company?
I always have company. I'm okay. I'm going to be okay.
Make a deception check. I think we both know that's not exactly true.
No. I think we all know this.
Yeah.
You want me to roll a deception check?
Oh, yes.
Do it.
I think we established that Errol is not okay.
19. I rolled 2 17s on my advantage. It was meant to be 19.
Will, if you want to roll for your insight.
Insight, right? 19.
She's the one, in this case, she's the one trying to read you. So I'm going to give it to, you need to equal and surpass anyway. I'm also going to give Will the edge here, because Will knows you. And Errol does tend to put a lot of times put everyone else before.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say, Will, you know that he's not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more or less a strong front.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
I'm going to guess he's just staring at him.
Yeah, I'm just going to church. It's really awkward. I don't know why you're staying.
Hey, I can go to church too. I've got some
Yes.
things to say anyway, so
Nobody is stopping you.
I'll wait for Errol to leave and I will leave at the same time. I will go the same direction. And I'll just be like, I'm just going to church.
Errol's not stupid. He just walks with you, but he's quiet.
Which is fine. Like, I think after a while, he'll just be like, she's just Yeah, okay.
He will text his husband he knows it's still way too early for him to be up. Early here, so late there.
Mm.
But he messages Corin to say, great. I'm taking some extra time off. Stuff happened. Call me when you're not free.
When
Call
you're
me when you're
not
not
free.
busy. Call me when you're not busy. Second text. I meant call me when you're not busy.
When you're in a critical meeting, call me.
Yes, please only then. Yeah, he sends that. And again, always, as always, finishes with I love you and I miss you and the heart.
RaQui and Olo, where you see that Errol leaves with Will very much following him.
I'm done. I'm done. I've done my good deed. I'm going home.
You're going home, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be heading that way. I want to run an errand first.
Okay, cool. Don't climb any towers. I'll catch you because I won't catch you later.
It's fine. I've got wings. At least I can fly.
So, what does RaQui want to do?
I'm wondering whether or not there is a shop at which I can purchase something. I imagine that there is somewhere that sells something along the lines of a notebook. I say a notebook / portfolio sort of thing that does two things, and I appreciate it might cost me a bit of money. A, that it shrinks down to like pocket size, and B, that it can only be opened by one individual.
You have to go to like a specialty place for that.
Yeah.
Particularly for the rather anal levels of security.
Yeah.
This will put you down about 500 crests, which are the currency you have. Okay.
500, yeah.
Yep. And you have a brand new journal that only you can open, or someone who mimics your DNA. And can be shrunk
for now.
It can be shrunk to a small size. For the 500, tell you, do you want it just to shrink or to become, something disguised?
Ooh, let's make it something disguised.
What do you want it to be disguised as?
Oh, I don't know. I want it to look like a medical tool that I would probably just have on me. Let's not go a scalpel because I already have loads of scalpels.
Like a little flashlight on those to,
Little mirror. Might use to like.
Let's go for yeah, I'll make it like a little flashlight thingy. So one of the long, thin ones that doctors would use to dilate pupils and stuff like that. So that's what it turns into.
Okay. And it's fully functional as a flashlight?
Even better.
That part's not hard.
After that, I'm going to head home with all of my new paperwork because I now have a lot of paperwork to go through.
And Olo, do you head straight home, or do you wish to follow up on that tip for the investigation?
Yeah, I go via the bus stop.
Okay. You see that there is an actual like card reader on the side.
Take out the card. Realise this might be a stupid idea, but it's a bit late to think about that now. And swipe the card.
You swipe the card and you disappear, and you leave Ignis and land in Ignis G, where in a normal world you're already small. Ignis G you realize is a parallel district that is for the giant and up citizenry.
Oh shit.
You see dragons flying overhead. There is a cafe where two bronze dragons are having gigantic cups of tea. Two storm giant couples are walking with a stroller with a storm giant baby. You have gone into you feel like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Because everything is twice the size.
I swipe my card again.
You appear again in Ignis. Let's call it Ignis N normal. And saying like, if this kid went there, well, it's gonna be perhaps harder to find.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be going there alone. I'm too tiny. So,
make an investigation check.
Oh, 11.
You realize that on the other side of the let's say the bus stop, like one of those bus stops has like a glass like covering just to protect you from the rain. On one side you see that card reader. On the other side there's another card reader. The one on this side is red, the other one is blue.
Ooh. I'll try the blue one. I might be big in that world.
You go and tap it. Well, I mean, it might work. Go and tap it and land, disappear again, and appear in Ignis E, which is the alternate version of Cardis for the extraplanar, elemental, and primordial citizens.
Oh god, this is even worse.
Yeah, so you see fire elementals going about, earth elementals just arising from the ground, ancient like eldritch shit walking there. You see a portal open and just a bunch of mind flayers just come in talking shit, and just another portal opens and they walk through again.
Swipe.
Hey, you're back in Cardis.
Oh god. Yeah, this is on the
Will
list.
save for looking into the abyss.
Yeah, this is on the list of things I'm definitely not doing alone.
Yeah, when they told you, Cardis doesn't do things simple, that's what we meant. It's the center of the world in every way.
I will make a note. I need to go back to double check which one he actually swiped. See if you can work
from
out.
the footage, it looks like it was the red one.
It was definitely the red one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on that side where there was a flash of light.
And try and find some way to find him, and some way for me to not get stepped on.
Okay. Errol and Will, you arrive at the temple. Now, the temple in the city, in fact, most of the temples, much like churches for us, they're primarily for the entire pantheon. There are, specific rooms, specific like little altars in the temple for each of the gods, but generally speaking, it's a place for the entire pantheon. There are dedicated temples in the city as well, but they're not, they're specific. Like in this district, there's one for that god and that god. In that other, there's another one. Like in the central district, the biggest temple you'll find there is the Asmodean temple, because Asmodai is the patron god of Cardis, being the god of deals and commerce. This one is more of a general temple, particularly in this district, just kind of touristy and everything. There's very much general, if you live in the world, you can come here and worship. You do what you're gonna do. What are you up to? Let's go first with Will. Are you there to actually do, a legitimate purpose, or here to just observe Errol?
No, I'm legitimately going to pray.
Who are you praying to, and what are you? Who are you praying to?
So I am going to pray to Cuthbert.
Not that name anymore.
Oh crap! Yeah, it's been changed. But yes, the smiting, smitey smite. I'm going to pray to them and ask them to please watch over Clara so she doesn't die before she arrives here. I would really appreciate that. And to give me strength to actually get some justice for what happened to Errol.
You are praying there, and as you're praying fervently in a pew, just focusing on your words and your intent, you feel someone sitting behind you and putting a reassuring hand on your shoulder, saying, "Don't worry, Will. We will find them, and retribution will be had."
Mhm.
As for Clara, she's a wild one, but I'll keep an eye on her. She tends to be on the straight and narrow, which I like, though she tends to travel there like a bullet, which gets her in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
And the presence disappears.
Oh, just before this bit, I also ask him to protect my mother wherever she is.
You get a bit of a chuckle. Says, "I'm keeping my eye on all of you souls."
Thank you.
The presence disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Errol.
I'm gonna find a quiet corner and it's pretty well practiced. He's often in prayer, but today he is not just praying for his usual, watch over the people that I care about. He's not quite back to when he first found her, but he is in a similar raw state, and he is just reaching out because he's hurting, and he's like, I I thought I still believe that I'm meant to be here, that I'm meant to be on this path, and I am doing good. It feels like for every success and every push forward, something awful happens, and I can keep going and I can take it. But I'm scared that it's not enough, that I'm not doing enough, or more that I think I'm doing the best I can, but I feel like I'm not strong enough yet to face what's coming for me now. Whatever I've done that's gotten the attention of whatever this is that keeps trying to kill me, I'm afraid I won't. I think my purpose is bigger than that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm meant to do more. And I'm looking for your guidance again, and you put me on this. You showed me that there was a path to take. I didn't have to spiral, and I was worthier than I ever thought that I was when I first walked into your temple. And I know this isn't your temple, but I think you can hear me because I think you're always with me.
Oh, I can hear you just fine. I'm delighted in the hubris of it all. I am worth so much. I am meant for more. I am delighted of. I quite agree. But you're not here to talk to me, I think. I'll just offer my 2 cents and then I shall leave. You still owe me, boy.
I do.
Not here to rush you or anything, just a reminder. It's been a rough few days for you, and, feel free, take some time off, but you do owe me. With that said, I'll leave for now. I always find it curious. Did my dear Moran actually tell you all of these things that you are claiming she told you? Did she truly put you on this path and show you the way? Explicitly. I'll leave that nugget for you and her to discuss. And the presence disappears.
He's thinking about the vision that he had back in Reverend Day. That felt like her putting him on this path pretty concisely.
So his appearance is replaced now with a sense of warmth that feels more comforting. But there is no words. You don't feel anyone coming to say anything, at least not yet.
He's not entirely wrong. I've never heard. I didn't know that you could speak to us in that way until I met him. Was it you who reached out to me in Reverend Day?
You're sitting there and suddenly feel something warm in your hands. And open your hands and you have like a small little bread. It's like a small bread roll. It's freshly baked. It smells wonderful. Probably better than Will's.
Have I?
And you just feel like someone's just sat down behind you. And you hear someone talking, this old church. I haven't had time to come here and often. Sorry, couldn't help but eavesdropping a bit. If I just may offer my 2 little cents, we're all responsible for our own path. We're all responsible for our own choices. They can just offer us ideals, I think. You know, ways to live, ways to go about doing things that agree with who they are. But it's up to us to make the choices, and it's up to us to decide for ourselves if, what we've done is good enough or not. You can offer guidance, but in the end, the choice is always yours.
No. I only ever took what I thought were signs as guidance. Maybe that's led me astray.
Only person who can decide if it's a stray or not is you.
I think whilst I can help, I think I should. I think that's how communities are made. What are we if we are all just looking out for ourselves? Some of us have to look out for others who can't.
You just feel a gentle pat on your back, and the presence disappears.
He's crying. He kind of bows his head, holds onto this bread roll. If you're listening, I don't know that portrait. Made right choices, or I'm not here to judge that, but if I could find my path, I hope I hope he finds a way out. Because I don't think he wants to be on the path he's on.
You hear a voice going behind you saying, "There is no out for the quiet," and he jumps you and kills you.
Ah!
No, you sit
He'll just sit
there.
and
You
process.
sit there, and you just feel that sense of warmth stay with you until you're ready to go.
He's processing everything that's just happened, but he's also, you know what the thing is, he really doesn't like the vibe of Asmodai. But like he's not listening. He's kind of like, no one told me that this is my path. I picked it. And maybe that does say, maybe I am being egotistical. I'm not meant for all these great things, but I never claimed to be meant for greatness, just for more than my singular scope. And that's what I've done. I've been a police officer, and now I'm part of this. Maybe that doesn't make me meant for greatness. And again, I never claimed to be great. I just claimed to have more to do. And I do still have more to do. And he's pretty resolved in that conviction right now. Even though he's kind of coming to the conclusion that maybe he put himself on this path, then that doesn't necessarily make it the wrong path. But he's processing and he's crying. Kind
Let's
of.
say, Will, what is your passive perception? You muted.
17.
I would say 17. Once you're done with your own things, you're still there praying, contemplating, and the things you usually do when you're in the temple. You do see that in the corner, you just see Errol just crying there in the corner. And that's my final question for tonight's game. Does Will go over to comfort him or leave him deal on his own?
She'll go over and put a hand on his shoulder. But she won't like hug him or anything. She doesn't want to push it. So she thinks like a
Reaches up and takes your hand. He's crying, but
Mhm.
he says to you through crying, I think our without community, Will, I don't know what any of us would have left. This world takes things. It's our job to build things, to make things better.
Yep.
Tell me I'm not crazy for thinking that.
You're not.
And I think that is a good place to leave tonight's story. Thank you all for joining us for what has been, as I said, it would be an eventful evening. There's more to find, more to see, and potentially a trip into 2 alternate versions of Cardis, because this place takes tourism very seriously. Before we leave, we'll just leave everybody to tell you who they are and who they were playing, and if they wish to do so, where you can find in the dark corners of the internet. Jade, take it away.
Hi, I'm Jade. I played Will Soul. You can find me every Sunday on this channel for D&D, like today. Every other Friday for Vampire the Masquerade, and check out the Local Geeks YouTube channel to watch Kernels of Mystery.
I won't allow such talk about Asmodai. I'm sorry. No, Nate. It's not gonna
I
happen.
saw that. How rude.
It's not going to happen. I won't allow that. So, next you.
I'm Nate. I've been playing Errol. Errol Reminash, Haggling Fighter, who is fine.
Next episode, Errol finds a therapist.
Yes.
Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. I've been playing Olo Proudburrow, Catcher of Craglins.
And Kat.
And I'm Kat. I have been playing RaQui MriTtyur, RaQui, and at least I didn't have to do an autopsy today.
You found your journal again.
Yeah, except now I'm really angry.
And yeah, that's how things usually end. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you had a good time, and we will see you next time. Bye.